This is Dr. Talorico, and we're back in my kitchen. And what we're going to do today is we're going to make something, a fermented tea drink called kombucha. Kombucha has thousands of years of history. People have been drinking it, quite a long time. And what it is basically it's a tea with a living culture in it. And you can add different flavors and different varieties. But I purchased a kit. And for the sake of being easy, I realize this will be backwards, but I got this on Amazon, and it's a kombucha brewing kit, and it basically has everything you need. It has the tea, has the sugar for the culture, it has the actual culture, and it has the vessel, which is back there with water in it, right here, right there. And then we're boiling our water right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this all together, and then we're going to set it aside and let it do its magic. Once you've done this, this culture can be passed on to the next batch, to the next batch, to the next batch. And so you can just continuously brew, and then you can add different types of flavorers and different things. There's a book here I got with it. This is separate from the kit. And then I bought some really cool jars so that I can process and bottle and keep some. And so this is the first time I'm doing it, so I'm not adding any flavors or anything. I'm just doing it the way it's supposed to be done. So I'm going to follow the instructions, and it's very well laid out. Little bag for the tea, and it just has, just follow the instructions. Very simple. If I can do it, you can do it for sure. So why drink fermented products? Why eat fermented products? We're finding out more and more that the gut biome, the organisms that live in your small intestine, live in your colon, live in the bowel, have an enormous effect on your health in total. It's from things from as obscure as depression to obesity to just having better digestive function to preventing leaky gut, or a condition that I'm going to cover in our workshop coming up called sick belly, which is basically a systemic breakdown of the digestive apparatus from the acid producing little pumps in your stomach all the way down to the small intestine, small bowel, and bowel itself in terms of elimination. So this helps all those processes. So it's a healthy thing to do, and it's got a long history of use, and we're going to do it here because it's easy and it's inexpensive. If you go and you buy a thing of kombucha at a health food store, a bottle like this, it's going to cost $3 or $4. So if you're drinking one of those a day, that's going to add up. That's $100 a month in kombucha. This kit was maybe $40, and the jars and the book, everything together was like $75. So, and I can now just repeat this. I have the living organism, which is really the key. This is like when you see apple cider vinegar and it says the mother. Well, this is kind of the mother. This is the organism. This is what does the fermentation. When you put sugar in it, and you will, and everybody's going to panic about that, the sugar isn't for you. The sugar is for this. This eats this. And so when it does that, it causes the fermentation, and then it produces all the organisms that you want, that you consume, that are good for you, and also the nutrients and other things, and it becomes very bioavailable. And it's very, very healthy and very, very effective on restoring, good normal function to the digestive apparatus, which I believe is an enormous part of helping people with fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, and any autoimmune disease. And I'm going to say that again, any autoimmune disease: rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, multiple sclerosis, lupus, Sjogren's, scleroderma, you name it, straight down the road, straight down the line, getting this type of thing into your body is going to help those conditions. Every person that I've seen over the last 20 or so years that has an autoimmune condition also has a gut condition. So we're going to do some things here, healthy, simple things to do that can pay off in an enormous way. So I would say if you're going to do it like I did. Get a kit. It's not that hard, really simple. And my water's boiling behind me, so we're going to get moving. Okay. So what we're going to do, they give you a little tea bag, and they give you tea. So you're just gonna put this in there. And I think this looks like mostly black tea. Smells good. So that goes in the tea bag. We'll put all these little pieces in there. And we're gonna draw the string. Okay, so it says turn off from water, turn off the heat, remove, and then throw this in. So we'll set that in there. And it's already going to work. So then that steeps in there for 5 minutes. And then what you'll do after is you're going to take that tea, that's actually 32 ounces of water that I boiled, and it's going to steep in there for about 5 or 6 minutes, and then you're going to combine it with this. This is the vessel where the fermentation is going to happen. And there's 64 ounces of pure, clean, filtered water in here. And then after that's done, it says so remove from heat, add entire contents of tea blend to cotton tea bag and add to pot. Let steep for 5 or 6 minutes. And then add the entire contents of the organic sugar, which is this, into there, and then stir. And then once the sugar is dissolved, you're going to pour the whole thing in here. And this is cold, by the way. This is cold water. And then all of that stuff is going to come together, and then you're going to add this. And then what you do then is you're going to take a cheese cotton cloth that they provide and a rubber band, and you're just going to set that somewhere warm. And because it's fermentation, it's going to bubble, and it's going to emit some carbon dioxide and things as the sugar is metabolized. And so you can't put a airtight lid on it because that'll cause problems. So that's what will happen. This is my vessel, and I'm going to put mine on top of the refrigerator. So in a few minutes after this is done steeping, I'm gonna combine everything together, and then I'm gonna let it steep. And so once it's done that, you let it go for 7 to 21 days, it says in the kit. And one of the things you do during that period of time is you will test the pH. Now, the pH is, we want the pH to be on the low end. We want it to be acidic. And that is normal for fermentation. So we want our thing to be at below 4.5 pH. So this is an acidic beverage. I know a lot of people are going to freak out and go, oh, well, you should never consume acidic things. This is blown way out of proportion. Yes, it is good to consume alkaline-based foods. Greens, fruits, veggies, all these other things that are alkaline are good. But the contents, the normal atmosphere inside your stomach is very acidic. We showed you in another video that if we combine baking soda with water and drink it down, there should be an acid-base reaction, and that shows that you have normal, healthy stomach acid. So the pH of your stomach should be very low. If it's not very low, that's a health problem. That's linking to other health problems. So we need an acidic pH for our stomach. So we got about 2 minutes there, and then we're going to combine the sugar in, and then in a quick period of time, then we'll just pour this in after the sugar dissolves, and we'll be good to go. And then it should be pretty much a done deal. We want this to probably cool off a little bit. Oh, they even put like a little, they even have a little temperature gauge here. So we'll put it on there. If I can figure out how to get it off of this thing. Oh, there you go. So we'll put it like that. And then this will tell you what your temperature is of your solution. And you want this to be pretty warm. I saw somewhere they indicated that they wanted it to be greater than 68 to 88 degrees, with the ideal temperature being 76 degrees. So if your house is real cold, you got to put it where somewhere is warm. And if your house is super hot, I hope it's not hotter than 88 degrees. But if it's super hot, then you have to put it somewhere cooler. So I'm going to put mine on top of my refrigerator because I actually like my house pretty cool. So in the springtime, I don't run a lot of heat, and I'll put it up top there because there's heat coming off the top of the refrigerator, and that'll contribute to raising the temperature here. So just about ready. That's about 5-6 minutes of brewing. And so now what we're going to do is combine the sugar in there. So it's beeping at me, telling me it's ready. Alright. So we're going to combine this in here. Give it a little bit of stir here. So our tea and our sugar, and we're just going to let this sugar dissolve, which should do so pretty quickly because of the temperature. And it smells really, really good, and just about already dissolved. And so I'm going to have to check to see, but here's the tea bag coming out. And yeah, I kind of made a mess, but it's alright. We'll just clean it up. And maybe this tea, you buy like some loose leaf tea somewhere, and of various types, maybe different flavors. If you like green tea or different types of tea, black tea. I'm not an expert on the types of teas. And as much as I have tried over the years, I don't like green tea. And I mean, I've really tried, but I know there's white tea and red tea, and probably when you look in a book, something like this, somebody who knows a lot more about this kind of stuff than I do is going to tell you, you know, what you do, how you do it, and, you know, just all the good stuff about how you do it. And there's even recipes in here for brain brew. It says you can use ginkgo biloba leaf and gacha cola leaf, and I know ginkgo is really good for your brain and your circulation, and gacha cola is actually really good for your skin. If you have loose skin or you've lost a lot of weight real quickly, gacha cola will help to tighten up your skin. So there's all these different teas and all these different ways of doing things. So I thought I'd educate myself, and so just get a book, and then we can figure this out as we go along. So let me see where we are here. And we're pretty well dissolved. Looks pretty good. So what you're going to do now is then you just combine this tea with your storage vessel. And this is where all your stuff is going to happen. This is where the magic happens. And now we're just going to look and see what the temperature is. And so it looks like it's come up a good bit, you know, 80 or so degrees, which 82 degrees on my vessel, my fermentation vessel, which is in the range of where it's supposed to be, so it's not too hot. If yours gets really, really hot, if your water that you put in there first is a little warmer than mine was probably in the 60s or so, then you want to wait. You don't want this to be burning hot because you can actually kill the culture. So you want to wait until that cools down. Now, so in the directions it says that you want to brew at between 68 and 88 degrees. So if your water's 90 and 95 degrees after boiling and combining, wait till it cools off before you put your culture in, because you don't want to kill the culture. That's bad news. The culture is everything in terms of what this process is. The culture is what gives it all life. So now it's combined, and I'm just going to stir a little bit again. There's a little less extra sugar in there, and it looks pretty good. So I think we're in business here, and we're going to add our culture. Again, you got to be real careful with that because you don't want to kill the culture. My scissors. And so we'll just open this up. And it tells you a date when this culture is good till. So they have it very nicely packaged. And so mine would be good till July of 2017. But I'm going to use it now. So, and then this whole thing, once this is done, once this is ready to go, this whole thing goes into here. And then it's a matter of just letting it sit. And so if you want to put a sticker on it that says I brewed it on this day, or I have an actual calendar on my refrigerator here, then you know how long it's been fermenting. And so 7 to 21 days, and then check the pH periodically, and then it's going to emit some, like I said, some bubbles and some gas. But this is what you want to do. These are the types of things that are naturally healthy for you, that help to restore the normal flora. So if you also have digestive problems, irritable bowel, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, you know, heartburn, acid reflux, this is the kind of stuff that's going to move you in a healthy direction. So what I'd like for you to do, since we do these videos, and my purpose of these videos is to empower my patients, my group of people who watch my videos, to get the best health they can get for themselves. So do this for me. At the end of this video, like it and share it. And then what that's going to do is let other people experience what you're experiencing and have the opportunity to get the optimum health. Our big workshop, our Facebook Live webinar, is going to be Friday, April 28th at noon. And I invite you to come, and I invite you to bring your friends. And then if you would please like our page, which is Conquering Chronic Fatigue and Fibromyalgia, and look forward to our Facebook Live workshop coming up, or I like to call it webinar workshop because I'm more of a workshop type of guy. I like to draw on the board and explain things. But what I'm going to do there is I'm going to lay out the plan, the formula of how we get your health back if you have a chronic health condition. And so this is geared at people who have chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, but it also encompasses other things. Thyroid conditions, people who have anemia, people who have joint problems and arthritis. Any chronic health condition is going to be able to benefit from some of these steps that I'm going to outline. And they're easy and they're simple, and they don't require drugs, and they don't require surgery. Because a lot of times people say, well, I need to take this medication and this medication and this medication. Medications treat conditions. Medications treat symptoms. We're not treating symptoms. We're trying to restore health. And that's a different thing. So like our page, share our video, and ask questions, and I'll respond to any questions that come up in here. Other than that, I'm going to combine this in. I'm going to put my little lid on, and then we're going to be in business here. Make sure I don't spill any of the goodness. All right, there she goes. We'll stir. And now that SCOBY is called, that's the organism that's going to set up shop and go to work on making me some good kombucha. And I just want to cover this. And this is so bugs and stuff don't fly in there, because it's going to emit, like I said, it's going to emit gases and smells and things. Like insects are going to want to come and join the party, and we don't want them to join our party. It's our party. And so we're going to do that, and I'm just going to set this aside, and I'm going to check on it in a week or so, and we'll see how we're doing. So that's it. Conquering Chronic Fatigue and Fibromyalgia, big workshop, April 28th, 12 p.m. Sign on, be there, ask questions, and then what I will be doing is laying out the formula. Then the formula leads to the course. So the course is a 12-week course on restoring your health. And it's going to have practical things that you can do immediately to start to get better, to turn the tables and to start to recover your health. For me, about, I'd say 12, 13 years ago, I had a pretty serious infection that I didn't know was going on, and it was a root canal. And the root canal got infected, and I just didn't feel right. And I didn't have any pain, so I wasn't immediately aware of it. And I started to get every little cold, flu bug, everything that came down the line. And this is really unusual for me, and I just didn't feel right. I just felt wrong. I just felt off. And I know for a lot of people, they feel that way every day. And I couldn't imagine feeling like that. But anyway, I eventually, the root canal, the tooth broke off. And it was infected, and I wasn't aware of that. But when the root canal broke off, I had this foul taste in my mouth, and it was, definitely disease. And so I had the oral surgeon pull it, and I underwent a process to get an implant. But it wore me down. It wore down my system, because my blood work showed that my white blood cell count had just dropped. I had had a chronic infection for years that I had been fighting, and it was just wearing me down. So immediately after that, I felt vitality start to come back into my body. From the time I had my blood work to the time I returned to the doctor to have the blood work and everything and going back over, I gained 10 pounds of muscle. And that was in about 10 days. So I remember stepping on the scale and then stepping on the scale again, and he said, man, you gained 10 pounds. And I said, and I got to tell you something, Doc, it's not fat. I'm telling you, I gained 10 pounds of muscle in this many days. And he goes, well, that infection was keeping you in a catabolic state, which is a state where your body is tearing itself down. So for me, after getting rid of that infection, getting rid of that problem, my body turned on to anabolic, which means to build up. And I put on 10 solid pounds of muscle. Now, I was, in my 30s. I wasn't a 20-year-old kid, so pretty amazing. And so that kind of changed my perspective, because people can go through life with these chronic health conditions and feel terrible every single day. Every single day you feel terrible. I couldn't imagine. So that really motivated me, because of my personal experience of feeling crummy for that period of time, to help people who have the same type of thing every single day of their life. And the thing is, you can do it. You can get better. But you got to be able to follow and implement the process that I've laid out for you. So come to the workshop on April 28th at noon. That'll be the live workshop, but I'll leave it up, and I'm going to put it on places where you can access it, because I really want people to get help. I really want people to have an impact in their lives that's going to be able to, move them forward, get them off the cart, off the sidelines, and back to the life that they're looking for. So again, Conquering Chronic Fatigue and Fibromyalgia. Like the page, look for the webinar and the workshop, and then ask questions or whatever, and we'll go to work then. All right, I'll see you in a few days. Thanks. Bye.